Welcome to Political Beatdown. I'm Ben Meiselas, joined by Michael Cohen, fresh off his DNC Day 3 appearance. Let's just get right into it, Michael Cohen. How was your time at the Democratic National Convention? What can you tell us from the behind-the-scenes view that you got?
So my experience was greater than anything that I could have ever imagined. No matter how crazy I thought that this place was going to be, it's a crazy story. So I'm down on the floor, right, with the delegates and the whole nine. I had a pass to everything, to the floor, section 100, 200, 300. It didn't make a difference. So I'm down on the floor and I'm walking around. And there's a whole bunch of people from Ohio. And they're all screaming, literally screaming for me to get there. They all wanted, people were lining up to take photos, selfies with me, like you would think that I was giving something away for free. I couldn't get to some, and so I dove over the wall, the little separation wall, and they're like, and these are elder people, they're like carrying me and pushing me over from one row to another. I was like, it was off the charts. They were so sweet and they were so cool. Then I'm walking around. I had the great fortune of seeing Reverend Jesse Jackson. I spent a few minutes with him. He's just a very sweet man. It's hard for me to even describe it. The craziest part is then I'm talking to the Congress member from Missouri, and super great guy. And as I'm talking to him, I see people lining up to the side. And I'm trying to figure out where they're going, what's going on. And as soon as as I'm finishing the conversation, this one young man comes over and he goes, "Excuse me, sir, can I interrupt you for just 1 second?" I thought he was going to ask me to move. He goes, "Is it okay if we take a selfie?" So I said, "Sure." So we take a selfie. I go ahead, right? And then I go back to talking to the Congress member from Missouri. And the next person steps forward. And then the next, and the next. And I realized they formed a freaking line. And the line was like, it was snaking up and down. It was the craziest. It was a Michael Cohen love fest. I couldn't go anywhere. In fact, you know who captured a whole bunch of it on camera? And I'm going to try to get the recording just so that we have something to post here, Ben, was Jim Acosta, because I was doing a hit with him for CNN. And I'll tell you something too. I ended up meeting over at a place called The Grill, which is that's the grill inside there. That's, of course, the famous comic, Matt, friend, and so on. And next to me, of course, is Jim Acosta, and that's Brian Karam, who's also a comedian and a journalist. But that tall guy is actually the guy who does all the great voices of Donald and Mitch, whatever the hell his name is again.
Yeah, McConnell.
And I mean, he does them all. He is one funny kid. So literally, I'm sitting and I'm spending time with the new CEO, the new president CEO of CNN, Mark, who is not what I thought that he was going to be. And Mitch the Glitch is right. Who's not what I thought. He is incredibly cool. He's a great guy and very cool. So I was ecstatic. I saw so many people there. Olivia,
did you ask him why the coverage though was so poor lately?
How about no? No. He's really a very nice guy. You gotta be gracious, especially when you're in somebody else's home.
Okay. What about Mike Lindell invading the home, though, of the DNC? And we capture that moment. I mean, Adam Mockler, who's with Midas, is doing an incredible job. He's walking around interviewing people. He's on the blue carpet. And he's captured so many defining moments at the DNC of things that are happening outside, while we also have the coverage of what's taking place inside. Let me show you this moment here that he captured where Noah, a 12-year-old prodigy. I love this kid. Noah was approached by Mike Lindell, the fascist pillow guy who tried to overthrow the results of the 2020 election with Donald Trump and continues to promote disinformation. So Lindell went over to Noah in a convention that Lindell was not invited to. And let's just show you the now very famous clip that we captured exclusively here on the Midas Touch Network.
That's in your state. You want to know more in your state?
So
they just found 257,000 votes. This happened last week. A judge ruled in Georgia that are missing from the 2020 election. This just came out. You're behind. You should.
So your source is trust me, bro? That's your source?
The source. It's in your papers in Georgia. You need to read your news.
You haven't given me any last name.
You need to read your news. No, this is your Georgia news. This is your Georgia.
Thanks, buddy. Have a good day, sir. All right. Let's keep walking.
Captured here exclusively on MTN.
He's such an asshole, Mike Lindell. So I was going outside in front of the grill where they had set up a camera for me to do an interview with a foreign journalist, but that does a lot of representation here, Suzanne Kiampour. And we're sitting down, and all of a sudden, these two assholes come flying out of nowhere. And one guy's got his camera like right into your face and so on. They're right on top. You know, why did you turn on Donald Trump? Don't you feel like a piece of shit? And I'm sitting there and I'm laughing. I'm like, you clearly don't know the story. You know, you didn't read it. So it makes you either, inaccurate or just an asshole, one of the two. And then I'm saying, this guy seems so familiar, but I was concentrating on trying to deal with Suzanne. And then we're sitting down and they're yelling off to the side. She goes, excuse me, act professional. We're all journalists here, right? Act like a human being and get lost before I have to call security. And so they ended up walking away. And then I'm saying afterwards, boy, that guy looks familiar and he sounds familiar. And then I see Harry Sasson, and he turns around and he says to me, you know who that was? And I said, no, who? He goes, that's Mike Lindell. He just shaved off his mustache and he put on a fedora. And I'm like, oh my God. I thought, but I was like, how the hell would Mike Lindell have the balls to actually do something like that? And then I was like, wow, that was absolutely Mike Lindell. He wasn't just screaming at me. He wasn't just screaming at this incredible 12-year-old boy. He was screaming at everybody. It was like all they wanted to do was capture crackhead Bob attacking Democrats for having not a good time, a great time. A great time. This event was, as I expressed to Adam, because I did a pretty long hit with him, it was electric. I mean, I know it sounds like really weird to say something like that, but the room was electric. And I'll show you a photo that just to give you an idea on just how great this thing was. This was me. All right. And I'll show you something. Tell you, if I hold my finger on it, I think it moves. The people there were going absolutely wild. Absolutely wild. The audience was just, everybody was there for the same reason. And everybody is concerned about our democratic republic. They're concerned about the future of this country. It didn't make a difference, black, white, Hispanic. Didn't make a difference. Brown, yellow. It made no difference. Your religion, your race, your color, your socioeconomic. Everyone was there to have fun and to support Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, and you can feel it. And the speakers, one after the other. They made sense. They talked about the things that you're supposed to talk about at a convention, which is policy, and the future of the country, not some half in the bag retired fake wrestler ripping off a shirt, or Kid Rock bouncing up and down. We didn't have Kid Rock. That we didn't. We just had John Legend. We just had Stevie Wonder. I mean, just to name a few. Phenomenal. Just a phenomenal.
You think about the signs that were being held at the RNC.
Yeah.
Mass deportation now, and their chance. Send them back, send them home, send them back. That's what they were talking about at the RNC. At the DNC, it was USA, USA, USA.
Ben,
yes, she can. Yes, she can.
Check out this picture of me with Jesse Jackson. It was so hard. I can't explain it. You know, it was so warming, and the love for Michael. It was a love fest. I think I probably took. I'm not lying now. I probably took about 10,000 pictures over the course of 2 days. People, it was lines. I almost feel weird talking about it.
Well, let me contextualize it as I see it, though. And yes, while it was a love fest for you, perhaps, but it's what you. It's also, and I mean this sincerely. It's obviously it's what you did for our country, and the fact that you were the main witness in the Trump case, and at the most difficult time for you to tell the truth when Trump was at his peak power 6 years ago. Right? You were the first person to come forward and call him out and expose him, and you paid the price for it. You were placed in solitary. You know, Cohen, you can send those to us before the show, and we could pull them up there rather than you.
Ben, here's the reason why I couldn't. I literally just arrived home, and because I needed to take equipment with me to Chicago, I was literally setting up so that I could be on at our 4:30 regular time. And so I didn't even have a chance to do anything.
I'm just giving you crap. But look, when I'm talking about, though, the love that you were feeling, though, I also think there was this general sense there as well of love and joy in the room and moving the nation forward. And so that Mike Lindell moment to me actually takes on a deeper and more profound meaning than just the clip itself, right? It's one of Donald Trump's top surrogates going in disguise, yelling at a 12-year-old who's the guest of the chair of the DNC, Jamie Harrison, and they're bringing their weirdness and their hate and their anger and their baggage and their issues into a stadium of joy and into a place where we all have issues. We all have problems. Life isn't perfect, but what we're trying to form and forge here is a community where our differences make us stronger, and where we're not picking on each other and putting people down and or yelling at kids. And so that to me was why that moment also took on this extra meaning. And shout out to Adam Mockler for capturing it. I want to show you this moment as well, Cohen, from earlier in the day as well. You had J.D. Vance out today. I think he's in Georgia today. Donald Trump's in Arizona. Vance is in Georgia. And so wherever J.D. Vance goes, he tries to do this like retail politics stuff, and he always fails, right? Like a week ago, he tried to order a Philly cheesesteak, and he was asking them why they don't have Swiss cheese. He went to a diner 2 weeks ago, and he yelled at his daughter for drinking chocolate milk, and like the glass of chocolate milk was still pretty much full, and his team was the one who gave her the chocolate milk, and then he continued to like berate her for drinking chocolate milk. Here's J.D. Vance trying to order a donut. Like he's unable to order a donut. And before I play this clip, I just think it's very important to remember that as the vice president, you're a heartbeat away from running the country as well. And so as I think about J.D. Vance, I think about someone who was totally unprepared, totally unqualified, and someone who would be, I mean, look, it's hard to be worse than Donald Trump, but this person, J.D. Vance, I can't even fathom in that position. Here, let me show you him trying to order a donut. Play this clip.
The zoo has come to town. Thank you for letting us come in here.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I'm sorry, man. Okay, yeah. She doesn't want to be on film, guys, so just cut her out of anything. Appreciate that, man. I'm J.D. Vance. I'm running for vice president. Good to see you.
Okay.
How long are you working?
I've been here since the beginning of July.
Okay.
For this year.
Okay, good. How about you, sir?
Almost 2 years.
Okay, good. Just everything, yeah. I mean, a lot of glazed here, some sprinkle stuff, some of these cinnamon rolls, just whatever makes sense. How long has this place been around?
About 4 years.
About 4 years? Okay. How long have you been here?
A little over 6 months.
Okay, good.
Michael Cohen, I mean, the guy can't order a donut.
Because the person who was serving him that donut despises him. I mean, you could see it in the interaction. I went in not to buy a donut. I went in to buy a chocolate chip muffin and a cup of coffee. And I walked in, and the woman who was waiting, she's like, are you? I'm like, I think I am. And she goes, you are. She came running out from the back and asked me if I would take a photo. And then she liked the smell of my cologne, which I get a lot because it's delicious. It's the weirdest thing. My son bought it for me. They only make it in the month of September. It's made specifically for you. It's really crazy. And she was like, I don't want to let you go. I love you. I love you. Look at the reaction of this woman when she realizes that it's Shady Vance, right? That this is a man who is there denigrating women all the time. And it's why that conversation was so awkward, because she really wanted to tell him what she truly feels about him, and the disgust that even looking at her, right, or her having to look at him had brought on. So it makes perfect sense. It really makes perfect sense. Yeah, he's awkward. He's just an awkward guy.
You know, what do you make too? I've been seeing, and again, I'm not one to highlight polls, but I like to talk about it sometimes in the context of Donald Trump pushing these polls to counter that. Because remember, all Donald Trump had before was strong man versus weak man paradigm. Bless you.
Thank you.
Right? His whole thing was strong polls, even though he's very weak, strong polls, big crowds, right? The moment that's taken from him, he's got nothing. He's just a kind of an odd, low energy, weird, kind of creepy dude. But the latest one is from Texas. Well, here we have 538 with Vice President Kamala Harris taking her largest lead in the aggregate of polls, 3.3 lead in the average of the polls right there. Then in Texas, it's basically within the margin of error at this point. We're talking about only 5 points. And if you think about it, Mitt Romney won the state by 15 point, easily. Romney won it 15.5 points over Obama. So with all of this, you know, Republicans allowing Trumpism to take over the Republican Party because Trump just repeats over and over again, I'm still strong, I'm looking strong, I'm looking strong. I mean, Romney was getting better numbers. McCain was getting better numbers. George W. Bush was getting far better numbers. So what do you make of that, Cohen? And what do you make, too, of the fact that we see so many Republican leaders now at the Democratic National Convention endorsing Vice President Kamala Harris? You're muted.
About the various different individuals that were there. So you may have heard, Brigaders, that there's a group now which is called Republicans for Harris. And that's why they had, as an example, Olivia Troy. And I was with Olivia as well. as well as Tara Setmayer from the Seneca Project. And we had, again, this really long and a very heartfelt conversation. And I said, you must be completely stunned, regardless of what you do and the way that you speak and the way that you advance the democratic principle over Donald Trump. You're still not just a Republican, but you are also a Republican that had worked under the Trump administration. Even though right now you are a critic, could you imagine that you're on the stage for a sold out stadium talking about Kamala Harris and Tim Walz and the danger of Donald Trump to our democratic republic? And she said to me, in my entire life, I never could have called this one. When I first got the call, I thought it was a goof, right? That maybe they got the wrong person and so on. And I asked her if she was nervous. I said, because you look tense. So she goes, well, I was. That, what do we call it? 8 to 10 minute speech that she gave, she said was more nerve-wracking, the 8 to 10 minutes, than when she was on the stand before Congress. And she goes, it's a very different emotion, because everybody there, and of course you tell them who you are. She was just taken back at the warm welcome, the inclusive welcome that she got, not just there when she was on stage, but wherever she went. She came with me to, for example, Eric Swalwell's party over at the Gwen last night. She's wherever she went, she was welcome with open arms. That's the difference between the Trump campaign and the Harris campaign. One is divisive. We know who that is, on shits and pants. The other, of course, is Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, inclusive. Let's bring everybody in. And they want her to talk about the dangers that Donald Trump poses to this country and to the Constitution. And who better than the people that work for him?
I want to share this with you as well. I love to see Democrats going on the offense and not holding back. I want to show you this clip, for example, of former President Bill Clinton, and you were there to watch this. Let's play this clip.
It's amazing.
One of the things is when you send a signal to the other countries, you want them to know, whether they agree with you or not, at least that you're on the level. Here's where you are and what you believe. What are they supposed to make to these endless tributes to the late, great Hannibal Lecter? I mean, President Obama once gave me the great honor of saying I was the explainer-in-chief. Folks, I've thought about it, and I don't know what to say.
Michael Cohen, I want to get your reaction to that. But first, I want to remind everybody, they want to support the growth of this show and this independent media network. Go to patreon.com/political beatdown, patreon.com/political beatdown. Next week, Michael Cohen will host an exclusive Zoom meeting. So if you ever wanted to meet Michael Cohen at that Zoom meeting, join patreon.com/political beatdown. It will also help grow this independent media platform. And I'm just getting word as well that we now have a discount for our pro-democracy merch that I'm authorized to announce right now. Go to store.MeidasTouch.com right now. Just today, we're offering this, according to Jordy, who just messaged me, 10% off with code Kamala. 10% off. You use the code Kamala. We got that incredible pro-democracy merch, including the Mea Culpa Mar-a-Lardo Correctional Facility shirt that was used.
I don't recall signing off on that one.
You didn't, but we'll I'm sure I'll get a call after the show. We'll be right back after this quick break.
After your laundry is set to permanent press, it's time to give Golden Nugget Online Casino a spin. With hundreds of the most exciting games, Golden Nuggets lets you live it up in your downtime on classic and exclusive slots only found on their online casino. So take a load off while you wait for your load of laundry and say hello to your golden era. And new players can get $77 instantly. So let me say that again, my friends. New players can get $77 instantly in casino site credits. And all you have to do is sign up with code BEATDOWN and deposit just $7 to get $77 in casino site credits. Make any moment golden. Now remember, if you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER, or in West Virginia, visit www.1800gambler.net. And please play responsibly. 21 plus, physically present in Michigan, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and West Virginia only. It's void in Ontario. One per new customer. Max reward of $77 in site credits that expire in 168 hours. See site for reward playthrough requirements and terms at goldennuggetcasino.com/welcome. It's hot outside, and your nighttime bedroom temperature has a huge impact on your sleep quality. If you wake up too hot or too cold, I highly recommend that you check out Miracle Made's bed sheets. Miracle Made sheets are inspired by NASA, and they use silver-infused fabrics that are temperature regulating so that you can sleep at the perfect temperature all night long. Miracle sheets are luxuriously comfortable without the high price tag of other luxury brands. And you know what? They feel as nice, if not nicer, than sheets used by some five-star hotels. Using silver-infused fabrics inspired by NASA, Miracle Made sheets are thermoregulating and designed to keep you at the perfect temperature, again, all night long, no matter the weather, so that you get better sleep every single night. Stop sleeping on bacteria. Bacteria can clog your pores, causing breakouts and acne. Sleep clean with Miracle. These sheets are infused with silver that prevent up to 99.7%. Get a look, 99.7% of bacterial growth, leaving them to stay cleaner and fresh 3 times longer than other sheets. So there's no more gross odors too. Go to trymiracle.com/beat to try Miracle Made sheets today. And whether you're buying them for yourself or as a gift for a loved one, if you order today, you can save over 40%. And if you use our promo code BEAT, B-E-A-T, at checkout, you'll get 3 free towels and save, get a load of this, an extra 20%. Miracle is so confident in their product, it's backed with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you aren't 100% satisfied, you'll get a full refund. Now upgrade your sleep with Miracle Made. And go to trymiracle.com/beat and use the code BEAT to claim your free 3-piece towel set and save over 40%. Again, that's trymiracle.com/beat to treat yourself. And thank you, Miracle Made, for sponsoring this episode.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of those Miracle Made sheets, Michael Cohen. I know you use them as well. And Michael and I negotiated during the break. He is okay with the 10% discount code.
I got outvoted.
Gear. He got outvoted. The tiebreaker was me, Jordy.
Yeah, but let's not also forget about our other sponsor, DraftKings.
DraftKings.
If people play this all the time. So if you do actually play, give DraftKings a shot. I mean, for $7, you get $77. I mean, slot credits, though. I mean, but still money. That's if you play.
Yeah, and I like that you give
Sounds
the
right to me.
disclaimer too. You know, everyone's got to be make sure you gamble responsibly, and you gave the numbers also of where people can call if they have issues or if they have problems. So I played for you former President Bill Clinton's clip mocking Donald Trump. Let me play this one for you, former President Barack Obama. Here, let's play this clip.
The people who will decide this election are asking a very simple question. Who will fight for me? Who's thinking about my future, about my children's future, about our future together? One thing is for certain, Donald Trump is not losing sleep over that question. Here's a 78-year-old billionaire who has not stopped whining about his problems since he rode down his golden escalator 9 years ago. It has been a constant stream of gripes and grievances that's actually been getting worse now that he's afraid of losing to Kamala. There's the childish nicknames, the crazy conspiracy theories, this weird obsession with crowd sizes. It just goes on and on.
Cohen, is that the right approach to how you go after Trump?
So let me say, sitting there in that room, and for that speech, I was actually on the first floor, the 100 section, with a bunch of the media, and I couldn't. I don't even know how to describe. I really don't even know how to describe the love for Barack Obama in that room and the laughter when he started doing, about the size of the crowds, and everybody was just cracking up. The man brought the house down. If he wasn't a politician, he should actually be a stand-up comic or at least an actor. His sense of timing is impeccable, like nobody's. And then my favorite line, because Michelle Obama's speech, additionally, was off the charts. The problem, and I sat there talking to my buddy about this, Brian, because the speakers that were there, like the Hillary Clintons or the Michelle and Barack Obama, I mean, they're all like what? Harvard Law School, Yale Law School. It's almost like we expect them to be spectacular. You know what I'm saying, Ben? We expect them to be this perfect. And you really shouldn't, because it's not easy. But while this happened, and I give Barack Obama a lot of credit for not actually bringing the topic up, Donald Trump went back to birtherism. You imagine this crap, Ben? So during the course while I was there for the 2 days in Chicago, not only does Trump bring back Corey Lewandowski, right? Old school, 2015. Shit can, but brought back. But he brings back the birtherism. And why is he bringing that back? Truth is, I don't even have an answer for it. It's almost because Barack Obama is clearly on Team Harris Walz. And for that, Trump has to try to inflict some sort of damage onto him. Didn't work, right? I mean, it didn't work. As popular as Donald Trump is with his MAGA base specifically, Barack and Michelle Obama are more than double popular because they have the entire Democratic Party and they have a massive amount of independents as well. Donald doesn't have that. So he thought he was going to inflict some sort of personal pain onto Barack Obama by going back to the birtherism lie, but it didn't work. In fact, it backfired. And Barack Obama, in a brilliant, brilliant way, brought the House down. And I bring up Michelle because he was right when he turned around and he said, I'm the only one stupid enough to try and to follow a speech after Michelle. And it was true, right? Her speech was so good. It was hard to figure out what Barack was going to say, but he rose to the occasion. He rose to the occasion. And it wasn't just that you had Barack and Michelle and then you had Hillary, but you had AOC, who I thought, just crushed it. Almost all of the speakers did a spectacular, spectacular job. The only job that I thought was less than mediocre was Stephanie Grisham, but I'm not going to even waste my time. First of all, I don't even understand why they had her on. But putting all that aside, this convention, up until, of course, the point that I left, off the chart, and I give this somewhere between an A to almost an A+.
Because the message and the theme, again, of moving forward, of joy, of celebrating togetherness, real family values. I mean, they're hitting those points and they're living those values and we're seeing it. And so that also serves as such a contrast to how MAGA's even responding to it. Like, the more joy and happiness that's out there, the angrier the MAGAs get. I mean, just take a look at this. There was this incredible moment where Gus Walz, Tim Walz's 17-year-old son, broke down in tears as his dad was giving a speech. Jeremy, do we even have, I think we have the video too of it. It was a moment that for people who care about family and love and all of this, that's like a perfect litmus test, if you will, to how do you react to this? Here, play the image. Play the video.
Hope, Gus, and Gwen, you are my entire world, and I love you. I'm letting you in.
So let me ask you this.
Does that give you goosebumps? I mean, does that not give you goosebumps? We were talking about that last night too. It's unbelievable. And now they're making fun of him. I'm chilled. Every parent, and you'll see, because you're soon to be a parent. Every parent dreams of that type of love between a child and a parent. Every parent, except for one. And that's Donald.
So let me just, and here I think are the two images. First, here's what I want to do. I want to play that video again that I just showed you of Gus Walz, Tim Walz's 17-year-old son. So first play that clip. Let's play it one more time. Play it.
Hope, Gus, and Gwen, you are my entire world, and I love you. I'm letting you in.
And then contrast that with the Trump surrogate who went into the DNC uninvited and started yelling at a 12-year-old kid spreading election lies. Play the clip.
That's in your state. You want to know more in your state?
So
They just found 257,000 votes. This happened last week. A judge ruled in Georgia that are missing from the 2020 election. This just came out. You're behind. You should.
So your source is Trust Me, bro? That's your source?
The source. It's in your papers in Georgia. You need to read your news.
You haven't given me any last name.
You need to read your news. No, this is your Georgia news. This is your Georgia.
Thanks, buddy. Have a good day, sir. All right. Let's keep walking.
So doesn't that say it all right there, though, Michael Cohen? And it's which America do you want? And as you and I and the Midas Mighty have always said, this should not even be a political question. It should be a humanity question, which is who are we? Are we a country that sends conspiracy theorists to yell at 12-year-olds who are enjoying the joy? Or are we a country that supports families and supports the love of a son and the daughter to their dad and has tears because they're so proud of their dad? And post after post, you have these MAGA Republicans attacking Gus Walz, the 17-year-old son of Tim Walz. We showed you, one of those posts right there, and I'm not sure if we have.
Ben, can I give you the greatest contrast? Brigaders, follow me on this one. You have one father who's standing up there acknowledging his 3 children and talking about how you are my life, how you are my world. And you could see the daughter is flustered. There's, like me right now, your eyes are all welled up, thinking about how beautiful that is. And then on the other hand, this is where the eyes don't well up. On the other hand, the only time that the father, Donald, is talking about his children, i.e. in this specific case, I will use Ivanka, he's talking about if she wasn't his daughter, he'd like to bang her. That's the contrast. And I know it's disgusting. Don't get me wrong. And I'm obviously using that specific example to highlight the distinction between the North and the South, the East, the West, up, down, whatever parameters that you want to use. One father is talking about the love that he has, his heart is what he shares with his children. The other one, it's his loins. How sexy his daughter is. How if she wasn't his daughter, he'd be dating her. There's the contrast. And the fact that that's not out there more, and now they're attacking Tim Walz's son, making all sorts of allegations about him, calling him weird. Now I'm going to do something that I swore that I was not going to do, but I'm amongst family here with our brigaders. You want to talk about weird? Seriously? You really, Donald supporters, really want to start talking about weird? And I'm not gonna. You know where I'm going with this. I can't do it. I promised myself that I wouldn't. But you know the old expression: "He who lives in a glass house shouldn't throw stones." And for Ann Coulter, the whacked out bitch that she is, fucking psychopath, thrown out of the Republican Party herself. Nobody wants to deal with her. She's despised. You ever see her on like a Comedy Central roast?
Yeah.
The attacks that she gets from everybody? An asshole. Complete and total asshole.
Meanwhile,
you know what she's angry about, Ben? that nobody loves her the way that Tim Walz loves his family. That's the problem. It's jealousy.
And whenever you look at these individuals and their pathology, whether it's J.D. Vance shape-shifting 3 different identities and 3 different names over the course of his life, Donald Trump's background with Fred and the way his parents treated him and how spoiled he was and what he turned out to be. You look back at their pathology, the malignant narcissism, the sociopathy, the confusion of their own identities, and they use that to try to take away our freedoms to compensate, as former President Barack Obama would say, for their own issues, I want to take our last quick ad break of the show. I also am going to plug our merch because Jordy is saying if I don't plug this merch, he's going to be very mad about it. But I'm getting lots of messages. Store.MeidasTouch.com. Go. We've got the 10% off that Michael Cohen did not agree to right away, but that I forced 10% off with code Kamala. Just go to store.MeidasTouch.com. 100% union made, 100% made in the U.S. Let's just take that last quick ad break.
So last night, I went out for dinner with my wife to this incredible Italian restaurant called San Sabino. I mean, just amazing culinary experience. And if you've got culinary taste like I do, then you know how expensive exploring your local food scene can get and how hard it is sometimes to find the time or really the energy to go try someplace new. Cook Unity is the first chef-to-use service delivering locally sourced meals from award-winning chefs right to your door every single week. And it's cheaper than any other delivery options. So go to cookunity.com/beat or enter code BEAT before checkout for 50% off your first week. So look, let me talk to you about what I ordered. All right. When I went ahead and I tried Cook Unity, I ordered grilled spicy salmon bowl. And in it was spicy salmon with mixed vegetables and sushi rice with sriracha and this ponzu aioli. I mean, I'm drooling thinking about just how good it was. I mean, it was beyond good. All right. Without even mentioning anything, this experience, the type of food that you get, is better than anything that I order in when I just don't feel like really going out. And remember something, there's no cooking required for a chef quality dining experience right at your home with Cook Unity. Unlike other meal services, Cook Unity, it's a chef collective bringing exciting culinary talents to your table. Cook Unity works with some of the best chefs in the country to bring you creative, delicious meals every single week. And again, right to your door. Every single meal is handcrafted by chefs and it's made in local micro kitchens, not these large production facilities. And remember something too, your food arrives fresh. Never frozen in packaging that keeps meals in the fridge for up to 7 days. No, fresh. It arrives fresh. Cook Unity packaging, it's compostable, it's recyclable, and it's reusable. You pick as few as 4 or as many as 16 meals per week. I mean, talk about options. I mean, there are hundreds of dishes to choose from, and the menu is regularly updated. It's updated constantly. I mean, there are seven different dietary preferences that you could choose from. Vegan, paleo, pescatarian, gluten-free, and more. I mean, filter for soy, nut or dairy-free options in case you have allergies. Menus are posted 2 weeks in advance so that you have plenty of time to choose. So right now, I want you to go and experience chef quality meals every single week delivered right to your door. So go to cookunity.com/beat and enter code BEAT, B-E-A-T, before checkout for 50% off your first week. That's 50% off your first week by using code BEAT, BEAT, and going to cookunity.com/beat. That's COOKUNITY.com/beat. 50% off your first week. Go now.
Michael Cohen, I've been wondering who you're going to give that 2-finger salute to. Before doing that, I also got to plug your YouTube channel, which is absolutely crushing it. At the Michael Cohen Show on YouTube. Michael gives fresh, new hot takes there multiple times a day. But Cohen, I want to hear your 2-finger salute before I forget.
You know, just by the way, literally, thanks again to all of you who have subscribed to that YouTube channel. We are just about 148,000. We're on our journey to 250,000. Then we're going to go for 500 and then 1 million. And we're going to keep that community strong. And we're going to keep it tight so that as we start getting into the November election date and so on and other events leading up to it, we're a major force. All right. So I feel a little bit like David Portnoy right now about, giving a score on a slice of pizza, the one bite challenge there. Initially, I know many of you thought that Mike Lindell should get the 2-finger salute for just being a fucking putz. But no, nope. He was even surpassed by that wanton, lascivious, common trollop, that fucking dirtbag, the ghoul herself, Ann Coulter. Again, I wanted to give it to Mike Lindell for just being a fucking putz, but all he did is hurt himself. He made himself look like the fucking jerk off that he is, attacking everybody, acting like a total asshole, shaving his mustache, wearing the fedora, going to a DNC convention where everybody is just enjoying being there, enjoying the speakers, and he had to be that sort of dark cloud like over Pigpen. That's who Mike Lindell is. But this young man, Gus, his father is going to be the vice president of the United States of America. The love that family, the true, authentic love that family shows one another, that moment in time is now etched in each of our minds. And what does she have to do? Attack a kid who's crying because their father is talking about how much he loves them, that they are his world, there's life. And of course, a lot of it had to do with the issue of shady Vance and Von Schitzenpants, their position on IVF, how hope was ultimately conceived. If you think about it, you well up. It's just a beautiful moment. And the fact that this piece of shit had to do something to even ruin a special moment that everybody would be able to share and appreciate, for that, Ann, fuck you. Not just once, but twice. Fuck you twice, asshole. One day,
Well,
maybe
we're gonna play a game here.
Somebody will love her.
Game here, Cohen. So I've given you the opportunity to give the 2-finger salute to Ann Coulter. Now, I'm going to open up some additional doors, and the question is: Are you going to keep? Are you going to keep the 2-finger salute with Ann Coulter? Now, in door number 2, I have J.D. Vance, whose barber did this to him. Does that change your mind, Michael Cohen, in this 2-finger salute? Or are you going to keep it with Ann Coulter?
Not at all. Not at all. So JD,
that haircut does not move you.
No, not in the slightest. I mean, look, he's a fucking weirdo before he got that ridiculous hair.
All right, I'm going to move on. I'm going to move. This is a rapid fire game. Your answer is no. Your 2-finger.
No.
Let me give you door number 3. MAGA Republican James Comer in door number 3. Play it.
China, and you know about China, Congressman. You did this when you looked into Hunter. When you go to China, they surveil you. If an American goes to China 30 times in the 90s, they have surveillance footage of him. They have surveillance footage probably of his honeymoon night. What kind of compromise is that? They were worried about Trump and a P-tape situation. That was all made up. This is serious business.
It's very serious. China thinks long term. It's very possible that China would be grooming an up-and-coming rising star in the political process to try to have a foothold in our government. I mean, they've done this in the military. We've caught them with spy rings in our universities. This is how China operates. They think long term. And again, I can't say this enough. When you look at Hunter Biden's ties with communist China, it was for money. It looks like Walz's ties may be for ideology, and this is something that we should be concerned about, and we're trying to gather as much information as we can, as quick as we can, to present to the American people.
Well, it says it a lot about Kamala Harris that you...
Well, Michael Cohen, I think what we need to do is we're going to launch an investigation into the honeymoon of Governor Walz and his wife, because could you imagine? Is he a CCP agent? Because
I mean, we may have it. We might have it. We may have it. We might have it. We could have it. We possibly have it. It might be true. It is
relied on CCP agents for his oversight committee and called them whistleblowers. He relied on Russian spies as his fake whistleblowers. Does that change your decision about two-finger salute?
No.
Do you like this data that I give you the options?
Let me give you a 2-second reason why. Old news already. They've tried this same shtick for 6 years now. It didn't work then. It didn't work now. Oh my God. Oh, Ben, you know what they made? The Chinese government, you know what maybe they got of Hunter Biden on his honeymoon? Having sex with somebody? Oh yeah, that's right. You guys were playing, right? A sex tape of Hunter Biden. You were putting up blacked out dick pics of Hunter Biden in the people's house during a hearing. Oh my God, what if hypothetically there are pictures of Hunter Biden nude that are out there? Comer Pyle, you're a jerk off. But you escaped the two-finger salute this week because, again, that wanton, lascivious common trollop, she still got it.
I'm not going to give a two-finger salute, but what I will give is my two-hand symbolism of what I think a lot of these MAGA Republican men are having some issues with. And as former President Barack Obama would put it, perhaps that's why they're very upset about those photos of Hunter Biden, and they make a big deal about that all of the time. And maybe these MAGA Republican men like Donald Trump, maybe they got some other issues going on there. But we'll leave it at that. My Comer Pyle impression right there for everybody who can see it. Michael Cohen, I want to remind everybody about the Mea Culpa audio podcast. Subscribe to it, the Mea Culpa Blue audio podcast. Everybody,
now.
Go check that out.
Now.
Make sure you
go and just subscribe there right now.
Subscribe to it. Mea Culpa Audio Blue right there. Search Mea Culpa wherever you get your audio podcast. There's like 10,000 people, 9.1 thousand watching this live right now. There's 10,000 watching it live before. So just check that out. Also go to The Michael Cohen Show YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe there. Store.MeidasTouch.com. Get that Meidas Touch merch. Use that 10% discount code when you type in Kamala today at store.MeidasTouch.com. Make sure you subscribe to the Meidas Touch YouTube channel. Let's try to hit 3 million subscribers here this week. I want to thank everybody for watching. Remember, Meidas Touch has full coverage of day 4 of the DNC, which is about to start. So I end this live, then I will go there. We're also going to do the Brother podcast this evening at the same time that we always do it. But no worries if you're watching the DNC and not the Brother podcast. All you got to do is when the DNC ends, the Brother podcast will still be there. We're going to pre-record the Brother podcast anyway, so that'll be loaded as well. So we'll have all of that for you. Everybody, thank you so much. Michael Cohen is showing his Creators for Kamala shirt right there. I'm loving it. Thank you, everybody, for watching Political Beatdown. Shout out Brigaders. Shout out to the Meidas Mighty.